more of an emotional range from interaction, and that can just be as simple as something as difficulty, like a difficult challenge in a game provides like drama and a sense of achievement. But if you make it really simple and you keep narrowing sort of difficulty or kind of things we're doing in games, then I suppose that's a different thing. It's a more passive approach. So I'm wondering, like with regard to game mechanics, perhaps accessibility is a sort of double-sided kind of thing.
Yeah, accessibility can be an aesthetic choice as much as any other aesthetic choice in your game. You can deliberately make your game less accessible for the sake of that feature, and that's a valid thing to do. A lot of the old-time games were a lot less. I mean, it's been a growing tradition to make games more and more self-teaching or whatever, which has made games that feel a certain way, and the games are much more forgiving in ways you can save and reload. And that's led to a certain style of gameplay. If we don't do that, there are still some people who like the old, still the NetHack purists who say you random death is the way of what we like, random insta-kill and going back to the beginning of the game and don't have the last save point you can restore someone. We don't like a forgiving game, we like a brutal game. And
we're being too safe because a game is like a place where we can audition all these things. It's a place where we can try dangerous things or crazy things without having huge repercussions. So why don't we do that? Why are we making it safer and safer?
Have you played Ditton yourself?
Yeah.
Some of that's about audience development too, because the games are pushing out now into a broader market.
Just want to take a really quick point about writing, pitching, and prototyping. That when people go into writing game design documents, one of their main references is like fantasy storytelling and stuff like that, which is a very long form. I think games design is educated in copywriting, in the advertising sense of writing punchy copy that sells the idea, emotionalizes the idea, but operates in a concise form. It's actually really, really valuable. And I taught games design in the UK for 8 years and was trying to teach copywriting and was pretty much alone in the UK in emphasizing that. So, I think it's a really important skill.
Maybe if you can't tweet your design document, it's too long.
And the second part of that is, if you try to pitch to outside, like to outside funding, like government funding or investment funding, I mean, you need a document that can actually be understood by people who won't have that intimate language, intimate understanding of the language of game development, so you actually need to be able to use the language that they're talking about.
So on the topic of accessibility, I think it's super important to not, there's a really, really made up idea that the axis of difficulty and the axis of accessibility are the same thing, and that's made up and mainly like PopCap and Nintendo's fault. That they can be the same axis, but like historically, they're not. Accessibility is more about how many people can play your game more than how many people can finish your game, if that makes any sense. I think just there's like, as much as possible when somebody says, is an accessibility making games stupider for stupid people, that no, you're making stupid games for people that don't care, but lots of games are very easy to get into and provide a huge amount, like I think one of the earlier panels was, or even this panel was talking about how Go only has one thing you can do, but the things that fall out of that are immensely, impossibly, infinitely complex. And that's not weird. That's how most games work until like 20 years ago when we started making video games.
And I feel that way about the contemporary fighting game scene as well, which is like, you can get in and get an experience that is absolutely top value. Once you've got a little bit of game literacy, you can get in and have an amazing experience. And then you turn around and look at the 14-year-old next to you, who's like doing something which you have no idea, like something of a complexity which will ruin your life if you try to emulate. And that accessibility, like the way that frame, when you open a game and you have something that makes sense to you, and then you can unfold and unfold and unfold and unfold for hundreds of hours, like the way that Pokemon is super casual, and then when you play it for the first time, like I just had it, it's like, this is the deepest game I've ever played by like a factor of 100. you've got a room that's all blackboard and I'm going to give you chalk and you're going to design worlds with the chalk. Says, for the first week, just give them white chalk. Second week, give them white and red chalk. Third week, boom, 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 boom. Teaching children that play and constraint are linked in a very intimate way. So it's kind of an whole idea.
It's something we should know absolutely, because that's what games are about, right? Putting constraints on the player so that they have more fun than if you just let them do whatever they want to do. So who's played Cowpick? Are we taking questions?
Yeah, well, you just sort of took my last point there, but I think the same thing applies to games. So by putting rules on people, that empowers them as well. So it's not just by putting rules on the process of creating games, but games themselves can make you creative because you're submitting yourself to the rules of the game.
So,
Thanks.
this, you go play Cow Clicker, Facebook game by Ian Douglas. It's interesting because it's meant to be a satire on the ridiculousness of Farmville and such games. So I actually played it for a while and found a lot of fun. And the reason that it's because clicking a cow in itself isn't fun, but clicking a cow and broadcast and announcing that to all your friends and including a little crazy quote about cow clicking suddenly was this great activity that we're all getting into. And so never neglect the social activity of any game you're doing. Every game you should work out how it exists in a social context. And a really meaningless activity can turn into a meaningful thing when it's put in a social context.
Make it resonate, every part contributes.
And if nothing, and if a part doesn't contribute, you know, yeah, just take it off. Or ask why it's there. That's the biggest question. Why did you put it in if it does nothing?
I think when I think of this, I think of World of Goo, because every part of World of Goo, including the shell menus and the font choice and everything, makes you feel like the World of Goo. Right? And the way the cursor it has a line dragging, the little noises they make when you rip things off, all resonates to have this one gooey experience.
It doesn't contribute Canada.
That's it.
Architecture has meaning.
So I think the last session actually did this a lot better than we thought about. The whole session on this one point. But yeah, the early, give the easiest example of this, the early first-person shooter game. If you're in some meaningless space that just sort of was designed as a playground for blowing things up, and then they've evolved since then, so that you're actually now having battles in meaningful space. And it's created, it's just changed the whole feeling of it, because it's no longer just buying some weird meaningless space, doing some weird meaningless activity. It's now, you know, I'm actually having a gunfight in a cathedral, and well, that makes a difference just because it's a cathedral rather than another space.
I'd say I saw a fantastic talk at the GDC for environmental narrative, and they pointed out things like in games like Bioshock, the entire world tells a story in itself. You go into a room, and every little feature in that room explains more to the story. And I think when you're telling a story, your environment is very important in conveying to the player what's going on.
Where are we going to go?
We should wrap up.
Should we do one more?
Question? Go about 3 minutes.
That was the one that we just stressed.
Yeah, that's a big one. Oh, it's not really fun. We need to add some more rules. Make it fun, and then add more.
Or the best one where, oh, we'll put this in, but it sucks. That's okay. We'll get back to it.
Just something that I've noticed a little bit with when you're mentioning there fun and adding more rules. How important is having fun or conveying fun in the design process to bring that out of the game? Because a lot of the time it seems like if you're not having fun designing it, or if you're designing it just to solve the problem as opposed to enjoying that process. Is that, I mean, how important is that to the process?
If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're going to stop doing it. So, just as a life lesson on how to enjoy your job, should be enjoyable. If it's not enjoyable, then there's something to look at there.
I'm just going to just skip ahead about 20 minutes of ranting, which I could do right here, and just kind of quote, I guess, a combination of Adam and Brandon. When Brandon was saying that the kind of infancy phase of us talking about independent small games is now over, and we're now into like the Super Nintendo moment of like, we have to grow up, there's more to do. If you're not really into producing it and you're not having fun, there's a whole bunch of ways now that we can talk about fixing it. But this isn't like, this is not the first Freeplay, it's not even the second. You know, we've now got the drum beat has started, so there's a bunch of ways and a bunch of tools and a bunch of talks that you can go to and a bunch of things that are now like, there's not a massive web of resources and that you can now step up. So it's not just about just a little bit, but a lot, I guess, and fun, both for you, player, that I've done, like the whole thing. So we're now in like the next phase. This isn't, you know, I think what's good is I haven't heard anyone ask like, a question like, how do I get into the game industry? Which is what the first Freeplay, second Freeplay was a little bit like. Like, how do I get in? I guess it's sort of like, okay, we're now at the next phase. Like, let's talk about design and fine grain.
Oh,
Just to respond to the should it be fun to design a game. Most of my favourite authors at some stage have been quoted as saying, you know, like Joan Vasquez is very much one of these people, you know, laughing maniacally while creating some part of what they're doing. Just this sheer joy of creation. And, you know, I wish I could read this thing I'm about to write, you know, as a reader, because this is an awesome idea. And
I was going to go on the other side of that, don't fall into jazz problem, the way you're having more fun than your audience.
and also, on the other side of that coin, you know, faith no more, fucking hate one another. But make good music, great music. So, you know, from hatred and conflict can also come something productive. So
We should leave it at this is a question about feedback. So we'll just have one last comment for feedback. If I could just teach anything, I would just be like a bachelor of feedback. Like music.
3 years of just random abuse. On both sides, like, you know, it's not one direction.
But like also like the concept of critical feedback as well. Like using it to kind of, it's not just about a feedback mechanism that creates, oh yeah, I know what that is, because I know how to design that, but about an act that next to the technology you're using. So feedback is also about machine and developer. Like it's a way of living really that can be really like inculcated into everything.
And all other art forms are migrating into the digital environment. You're all working in the only native digital art form. So pretty exciting place to be.
Thank you very much.